There were 9 games in MLS this week. We'll bring you right up to date with the 18 teams that featured. That includes how Jason Kreis and Mike Petke got on against their former employers as Orlando City travelled to Yankee Stadium and Real Salt Lake hosted the New York Red Bulls. And we begin with an all-Canadian affair as Toronto arrived in Montreal's Olympic Stadium.
There's nothing like the 401 derby. Marching into Montreal in a tough environment.
Now Javinko, shot down by Cabra.
We have a fantastic rivalry with Toronto.
And already we see that tension continue to bubble over.
At the minute, we've had the best of Montreal, but I'll tell you, Montreal's a unique club.
Big challenge coming in there as tempers flare.
Commentating on this one, Stuart Robson and Mike Sewell.
Prodded through by Osorio. Giovinco with a flashing shot. Bush certainly felt he had to get down to it.
Cabrera tries to close him down here, but he gets his shot away quickly, and it dips just in front of the goalkeeper.
Here's Piatti. Got a player to his right. Shot comes in and it's there! Bono is beaten, and Jason Vargas gives Montreal the lead in the 401 derby. But it's the home team who can ring the bell just before half-time. Jason Vargas with the goal.
Well, I think it takes a big deflection off Haglund. Just when the ball's played to him, he shoots early, takes that deflection. That's what deceives the goalkeeper.
And that's a first Montreal impact goal for the Chilean, the 20-year-old Chilean. Taider getting away from his opposite number. Akecha still with Montreal. Piatti brings it down. Ignacio Piatti. Again, it's Haglund who blocks.
What a chance it was. Takes one touch too many. Haglund's actually falling over, and it hits him as he's on the ground.
Cabrera into Taider. Gallops forward, literally. Piatti, oh, lovely touch. Taider! Oh, that would have been a wonderful goal if Taider could have finished it off.
Lovely play from both players, though. They really are forming an understanding. We haven't seen it in the first couple of games, but today they've been excellent.
Over the top from Giovinco. Altidore! Was there a use of the hand from Altidore?
Ball lifted into the space behind Cabrera. It's on his chest. A great first touch. It's a bit unlucky, really, to get it over Evan Bush. It was going to have to be absolutely perfect.
Piatti, great play, gets away from Bradley. Still Ignacio Piatti, threads it through. Vargas is in! But was he offside? I think he was. The crowd thought that they'd extended their lead. They still do.
Well, this must be a very, very tight decision. But I think he probably was offside, yep.
Here's Arrow. Altidore wants it at the back edge of the 6-yard area. Arrow. No room for a shot. Back to Bradley. Now Delgado. Through to Altidore. Altidore, he's in here. Bush makes the initial save. Terrific clearance off the line by Michael Petrasso.
What a save it is. Really good, strong bottom hand from Evan Bush. In the right place at the right time. Good recovery run, Petrasso.
Bradley flicked on nicely by Delgado. Here's Van der Veel. Plenty of red shirts in the middle. One of them is Altidore. Piat can't get there. Bradley drives it in, and Bush was scrambling to his left.
Good effort with his left foot from Michael Bradley.
Headed down by Fanny. It's still on the edge of the area. Giovinco can't get the shot. Petrasso clears, and the referee blows his whistle. It's the first MLS win for Remy Gard. They end their run of successive defeats. Final score, Montreal Impact 1, Toronto FC 0.
Patrick Vieira's NYCFC were without David Villa through injury, while Sasha Kljestan was included for Orlando City for the first time following a ban. Looking for a third straight win, the home side were unlucky not to take the lead when Rodney Wallace struck the post with a fierce header. The Lions' revamped squad have failed to flourish so far. Justin Merrim netted 13 times in the regular season for the Columbus Crew in 2017. The Iraqi international had yet to score for his new side, but went agonisingly close to opening his account early in the second half. Moments later, it was New York City FC's turn to narrowly miss. Maxi Morales, who claimed the Bronx club's first goal of the 2018 campaign, firing just wide. Orlando were without an away clean sheet since July, a run that would continue after Joe Bendik failed to clear Yoshima Yotun's back pass, Ismail Tajuri making his full debut for NYCFC, taking full advantage to notch his first MLS goal. Kljestan, who moved south from the Red Bulls in the winter, had a debut to forget. His return to New York marked by the mistake that led to the host's second goal. Morales firing into the corner after the Argentine had picked the pocket of the USA international. A late flurry from the Florida club failed to bring a consolation. Will Johnson's thunderous effort striking the bar, ensuring a miserable return to Yankee Stadium for Jason Kreis, whose Orlando side are still searching for their first victory of the year.
Atlanta broke the league's single-game attendance record yet again in last week's win over DC United.
Oh, it was a shot that travelled like a comet!
In the same round of matches, Vancouver's Kai Kamara became only the 10th player to reach a century of regular season goals. But the veteran striker wasn't fit enough to travel as the Five Stripes and the Whitecaps went head-to-head. David Prutton and Dan Roebuck are your commentators.
Almiron has been put on his backside by Efrain Juarez.
So what Almiron wants to do is playing for the foul more than anything, isn't he? Very sharp on the ball into Chris McCann, looking for the return.
So Almiron has placed the ball. Whitecaps line up on the edge of their penalty area. And it comes, it's awkward, and eventually it's pushed goalwards and then cleared away. It was Franco Escobar that had the stab towards goal. The referee has intervened. So obviously an incident in the box. We did see Leandro Gonzalez-Perez go down. Was there an elbow aimed towards him by Kendall Waston? This is potentially what the referee is taking a look at now. Blonde hair of Waston, the number 4. Is there an elbow into the face of Gonzalez-Perez?
Tell you what, that is a little bit more conclusive, that angle, because you can see the arm from Kendall Waston quite clearly come up as he feels the contact from his opposite number.
It's not as if he was challenging for the ball. It is going to be a penalty and a red card by the looks of things. Waston is absolutely furious here. Martinez against Marinovic. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and Atlanta have the lead here against Vancouver Whitecaps. Waston is sent off. The Caps are down to 10. Atlanta are a goal to the good. He's got plenty of pace. Martinez calling for it. Decent ball in. Terrible miss. Almiron really should have made it too. Was put on a plate for the Paraguayan, who punched it wide.
It's a look of disbelief, isn't they? Almiron knows that should have been the second goal.
Gets away from Juarez, still going forwards here. Infield for Villalba, space on the right-hand side. Gressel wants it. Will he take a touch? Looks to try and drive it in. It's an own goal. Oh dear. Mond couldn't get out of the way, couldn't get his feet right. Gressel, who I thought might drive for glory himself, wanted to try and put it on a plate for Martinez. And instead, it is Aaron Mond that finds the back of his own net, and Atlanta lead by 2.
Yeah, you get the feeling that the game's done and dusted even before the hour mark, don't you?
Rare opportunity for the Whitecaps. But if they do press high, Atlanta are so good going forward that they can punish you and the flag stays down. It is Martinez! Just when Shea looked to pull one back, it's got in at the other end, and Martinez at the double gives Atlanta a 3-goal lead.
I think what really makes this is the touch by Miguel Almiron as he takes it into his stride. Look at this, one fluid movement. He's already on the attack. Don't really know what Morn's doing. He hasn't really got a clue where Martinez is. Really got a feel for the Whitecaps now. Atlanta absolutely rampant.
Breck Shea swiftly on Hurtado, thought about the shot. Woody Rayner might be able to pull the trigger, hit the post. No one can react quick enough other than Kratz.
Maybe a brief wake-up call for the home side.
Carlton on the left-hand side, up against Owinski. Still going. Can't find Almiron. He's desperate to do well, isn't he, the teenager? Long for Hurtado here. He's got him behind Parkhurst and still going. Can he finish? Brilliantly done. Guzan is furious. Atlanta concede. The Whitecaps have a consolation.
Brad Guzan's absolutely distraught with his defence. Extremely angry at the Atlanta United goalkeeper. Just over 5 minutes to go. Could it be a miraculous recovery?
This is Carlton towards Martinez! There's the hat-trick!
Martinez just lapping up the applause, the rapturous applause from the home side. The goalkeeper's got no chance from such an exquisite ball into the box by Carlton. Really good movement by Martinez, pulls away at the back post.
It is Atlanta that have beaten Vancouver Whitecaps here at the Mercedes-Benz by 4-1. The opening weekend of the season didn't quite go to plan for either FC Dallas or the Seattle Sounders. But it wasn't for the want of trying.
Chance after chance for FC Dallas.
Oh, and it really should have netted an equaliser.
Both sat out the last round of matches and were in search of their first MLS win of 2018 in Texas. Your commentators, Matt Jackson and Dave Farah.
There's Diaz. Barrios getting in behind, knew who needs to be really careful. Beautifully done. Roland Lamar with a tap-in. Well worked, clinically teed up, and a simple finish for Lamar. Nice touch there from Nedi Alcoff, helped on by Lamar. Here's Diaz, and Diaz hits it. It's a good stop in the end by Fry.
Very good shot from Diaz. Rising, Fry sees it all the way as well.
Now Leerdam. Threaded through now for Handwella. Buana. Corey Hayes just down there with a knock for FC Dallas. Chris Penso will take a long look at this. That's why it was Dempsey.
Yeah, they are the sorts of incidents that you're not going to be able to hide from.
Chris Penso is going to pull the card out. It's a red card for Dempsey. The ironic applause. Dempsey lets down Seattle badly here. Well, there's no flag. Barrios is through. Fry makes a really good save, and Urruti can't turn in the rebound, and everyone was looking.
Fry does exceptionally well coming out. Oh, Schmetzer will be wanting this half-time whistle to come.
Forward by Torres. Terrible touch from Nagel. Here is Lamar in more positive fashion for Maxi Urruti, and he curls it! And it's the second goal that FC Dallas deserved. And the second goal that surely gives them their first win of this 2018 MLS campaign. Flicked by Lamar. It's Neddy Elkoff again to find Lamar. Great finish. They're just picking them off now. A second goal for Roland Lamar.
It's a fine finish, it's a lovely pass to him, but it's joke defending.
A first win of the campaign for the home team. FC Dallas 3, Seattle Sounders 0.
DC United hosted the Houston Dynamo in the modest surroundings of their temporary base of Maryland Soccerplex, a far cry from their soon-to-be home of Audi Field. And DCU must have felt a long way from home when Yamil Assad inadvertently presented Albert Elise with the chance to open the scoring for Houston after half an hour. Barely 90 seconds later, Frederic Briand's loose pass in defence was pounced on by Elise, who this time squared for Mauro Manotas to make it 2-0 to the Dynamo. DC United coach Ben Olsen later described both unforced errors as gross mistakes. The home side warmed to their icy surroundings after half-time, within 4 minutes in fact. Darren Mattocks, the driving force, sweeping home to reduce the deficit, and like Elise and Manotas, register his second league goal of the season. Although DC United's response to their earlier failings was commendable, they needed something to show for it. 6 minutes into second-half stoppage time, Luciano Acosta obliged to earn his team a dramatic draw and their second point of the new season.
A first game in the technical area for RSL coach Mike Petke against former club the New York Red Bulls. His replacement Jesse Marsh aiming for back-to-back MLS wins. In chilly conditions, the hosts were hoping to catch a much-changed visiting lineup cold after their CONCACAF Champions League win over Tijuana in midweek. And after a Mexican standoff on the touchline, Ted Uncle's decision by way of a video review to award Real Salt Lake a penalty after Carlos Rivas had wrestled David Horst to the ground gave the home side the chance to go in front from the spot. Albert Rusnak oozed confidence to score his first senior penalty in impudent style. RSL had taken the lead in their previous home match against LAFC, only to go on to lose 5-1 and rode their luck against the Red Bulls on occasion. Vincent Bezecourt's drive turned away by Nick Raimondo, the 38-year-old determined to keep Marsh's men at bay. The veteran, who can boast more MLS clean sheets than any other keeper, then had to be at his brilliant best to keep out Tim Parker's close-range header. A 138th regular season shutout for Raimondo, ensuring it was Petke's day at Rio Tinto Stadium.
Peter Vermee's Sporting Kansas City and Mikhail Stara's San Jose Earthquakes had already been involved in high-scoring games this season, and their meeting at Children's Mercy Park wasn't going to buck that trend. Midway through the first half, SKC's Johnny Russell was sent into a somersault by goalkeeper Andrew Tarbell. No complaints and no doubting the decision of referee Alan Chapman to award a penalty. Ilya Sanchez was making his 36th MLS appearance for SKC. This was his first goal for the club. San Jose didn't take long to respond. Less than 9 minutes later, Nick Lima was afforded the space and time to cross for Valery Kazashvili, who at the second attempt scored his second goal of the season to make it 1-1. Sporting Kansas City's long-serving fullback Graham Zusi is not known for scoring goals. It had been 17 months since his last in MLS. Coincidentally, it came against San Jose, and 11 minutes after the break, he scored against them again. A memorable strike to restore SKC's lead. Chilean midfielder Felipe Gutierrez was signed as a designated player by Sporting KC only last month. 3 games into his club career, he scored his third goal to give the home side some breathing space. Now into his 14th season in Major League Soccer, Chris Wondolowski scored a mere consolation for the Quakes but took his career total to 135 goals, 10 behind all-time leading scorer Landon Donovan.
Underneath the tifos at the TCF Bank Stadium, Minnesota United fans in a first home game of the campaign against the Chicago Fire. Veljko Panovic's side had lost their season opener by the odd goal in 7 in a crazy game against Sporting Kansas City. And the madness looks set to continue against the Loons, visiting keeper Richard Sanchez with an ill-advised dash outside of his penalty area, Ibson with the wild drive over when a cool head was needed. The Brazilian, who has been with Minnesota United since their NASL days, was still searching for his first MLS goal, but didn't have to wait much longer, using his nous to good effect 10 minutes after the restart by reacting quickest to Sanchez's brilliant save to prod home from close range. No club conceded more goals in MLS than Adrian Heath's side in 2017, and their frailties at the back were there for all to see, as just 4 minutes later the visitors were level, Elliot Collier taking advantage of a dallying home defence to score on his full debut for the Fire. Adrian Heath had already suffered major disappointment this season, with the news that the influential Kevin Molino would miss the entire year with a cruciate ligament injury. However, in Sam Nicholson, the Loons looked to have found another goal-scoring midfielder, his close-range header from Ethan Finley's inch-perfect cross, triggering bedlam on the home bleachers. The 2-1 success ensuring back-to-back wins for only the second time in Minnesota United's MLS history.
The Columbus Crew were the early leaders of the Eastern Conference, going into their game away to the Philadelphia Union. In a closely fought contest in Pennsylvania, Crew SC's Harrison Arfel produced one of the first half's better efforts on goal. Jazi Zardes had scored 3 goals in his first 2 appearances for Columbus, and early in the second half could have added to that tally from Milton Valenzuela's cross. Both sides had 3 shots on target, but couldn't find a way through, as coaches Jim Curtin and Greg Berhalter had to settle for a point apiece from the first goalless draw of the new season.
So Philadelphia and the Columbus Crew maintained their unbeaten starts to the season, but it's New York City that topped the Eastern Conference with a maximum 9 points. Surprisingly, Toronto FC at rock bottom, having lost both their games.
In the West, LAFC remain top despite not playing. They're joined on 6 points by Minnesota, Sporting KC and Vancouver. Seattle, like Toronto, have lost both their opening MLS matches of 2018.
It's Joseph Martinez.
It's there! 23 goals in just 23 regular season appearances. We leave you with the irrepressible Joseph Martinez.
I feel that I have an instinct for finding space to score goals. Being on the shoulder of defenders, pretending to go one way, then running in behind onto a pass from a teammate to face the goalkeeper one-on-one.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.